Welcome to Seltzer Squad, the podcast about staying sober in the city, with your hosts, Kate Zander and Jess Valentine.
Hey guys, Kate here. I just wanted to let you know that this week's episode is sponsored by Audible. Audible is a huge part of my sober toolbox. I love listening to books and memoirs, and it's almost like having another friend who gets it. So visit audibletrial.com/seltzersquad for a free month. You'll thank us later.
Hello.
Hi.
Hi, Kate. That is Kate Zander.
That's Jess Valentine. What are we doing today?
Hot Mess Hoedown.
Got some more hot mess stories for you, and
Yeah.
I'm going to try to keep it together this time.
When we did our squad Zoom, we totally forgot to talk about our Zoom meeting. But anyway, a lot of people got really excited about when we said that the next episode was the hot mess. People really love them. So we are back with another one.
Yep. And y'all
These are
keep
our
telling us
favorites, too.
your funny stories, so we'll keep putting them in our pod.
Yeah. Just email them to us at seltzersquadpod@gmail.com and just put hot mess story in the subject line so we can put it in the right folder and possibly read it out loud.
Yes.
We don't screen these because we want to enjoy them.
Get real organic raw emotions.
Yeah. So if they suck, we are sorry. But do you want to start?
I don't think we've had any that sucked so far. So
exactly. Do you want to start? Do you want me to start? Are
I
we
can
just
start.
going down the line?
Let's go from bottom to top. I'll start with B.
Okay.
All right. B writes, when I was living in Burlington, Vermont for college, I was a straight up drunk and a way too underage drunk. On one sort of not memorable night, I was with my ex-boyfriend at a party who had purchased the booze to fuel my evening. I had gotten so drunk that when we left to go to a second party, I could barely walk. My boyfriend brought me to his friend's house and we were all hanging out when I realized I needed to vomit. So I not gracefully, went to his friend's bathroom in a total panic and was worried about the group of friends hearing me throw up. So I thought if I threw up in the toilet, they would all hear the splash. So I thought, okay, I'm going to throw up in the sink. So I threw up in the sink a lot, which obviously clogged. I was so sweaty and pukey and shaky, but I knew I couldn't just leave this vomit in the sink. Oh, bless her. So I started scooping my vomit out of the sink with my hands quietly, in quotes, moving it from the sink to the toilet. At this point, my ex knocked on the door and wanted us to leave and check in on me. Vomit cupped in my hands. I ended up getting it on my pants, shoes, and telling him to give me a few minutes. The sink would not unclog, and I decided to just say fuck it and leave. We left the apartment quickly on my insistence and went to get food. The next day, his friends were super pissed because someone had clogged their sink. And while they could never prove it was me, they all suspected me and ended up having to pay a bunch of money to their landlord to get a plumber to come and resolve it. Sobriety for the win, though. Love you both. Thank you for being my toolkit.
Oh my God. I just love the drunk rationale.
Yeah. You think you're quiet. You think that you're problem solving. And then eventually this probably all transpired in 20 minutes too. And she exits the bathroom with puke all over herself and just thinking that you're so stealth.
So bad.
I remember I was at a party in high school and one of my girlfriends proceeded to I felt like she gave herself alcohol poisoning. I feel like to this day, seen somebody so drunk, and she barfed all over the bathroom, in the sink, in the toilet, on the floor. Ugh. And I ended up cleaning up the whole thing.
Ew, why?
Because I felt terrible. I was always the drunk person cleaning up other people's houses because I felt guilty. So I'd be putting all the cans away, taking out the recycling, smoking cigarettes, making more drinks. I could never sit still.
Yeah.
So I was the little drunk housekeeper.
I don't know why I even questioned that.
Thanks, B, for writing in.
Okay, this is a different B.
Just reminds me of I thought I was the slickest bitch around.
I know. I saw that you posted about that again on the Instagram and I was dying laughing.
My fave.
Okay. This happened over a year ago and will hopefully be my final hot mess story. My recent ex-boyfriend and I decided to meet up to talk about what went wrong in our relationship and to see if we could give it another shot. Our drinking went together, was always a problem. So of course, this night was no exception. We started off at a classy restaurant and shared a bottle of wine, which was followed by about 1 billion drinks at various establishments around our city. We were biking in between bars, dangerous, trying to have intense relationship discussions. smoking a million cigarettes, fully yelling, fighting, and crying while smoking said cigarettes on stranger stoops in between
Aw.
bars. And we ended the night at my local joint where I ordered a whiskey neat and realized I was completely hammered and didn't want it. I poured my shot into his beer
Oh,
and he actually drank it. Ex-boyfriend stays the night. Oh,
obviously.
gosh. I woke up the next day with what I only assume was alcohol poisoning. We could not stop throwing up. It was so frequent that when my ex went to pee in the toilet, he took too long and I had to barf in my kitchen trash can.
Oh.
After hours of this, we called an Uber to take me to urgent care, and I end up having the Uber pull over so that I can puke again.
Oh.
I run out the passenger side, almost get hit by a bus. Oh my God, and throw up next to a trash can on the sidewalk. This poor thing. In urgent care, oh crap, I lost my spot. Okay, in urgent care, I have to run to the bathroom twice to puke. I remember laying across two hard chairs, and I've never felt so sick in my life. Eventually, a non-judgmental nurse gets me a Zofran, and I go home. What's a Zofran? Is that like an IV?
I think it's anti.
You know?
Zofran.
Nausea. Oh, okay. You don't have to Google it. I was just curious.
Yeah, nausea.
As
and
if it wasn't
vomiting.
enough. Oh, okay. As if it wasn't enough, hours later, I developed an intense retching cough and a fever. What the fuck, girl?
This poor
I don't know
girl.
if it was a combination of smoking cigarettes, using bar bathrooms, and probably not washing my hands or the urgent care bathroom toilet. But then I also ended up with pneumonia. I missed almost a full week of work and lied to my coworkers pretending that I had food poisoning. Luckily, I wasn't lying about the pneumonia, but wow, I had officially reached the point of enough bodily harm for alcohol to make any sense in my life whatsoever. And I've been sober ever since. And the ex-boyfriend also became sober, and we've been back together for over a year. Whoa.
Wow.
Even typing out the story makes me nauseous, and I can't believe that we as a society are allowed to purchase full-on poison with reckless abandon. Never again. Well, that's a happy ending.
Ugh.
But oh my God,
As
that's
my,
so
like,
stressful.
drinking
I woke up in the
progressed.
hospital once.
You did?
Yeah.
I don't remember that.
They had me like, I was, someone found me, I was at a bar having really high alcohol. Actually, it was my bar. I was working. I got off my shift because
Where?
my friend came in and I hadn't seen her. What?
Where?
I was working at the Chelsea Barcade.
Okay.
And we had my favorite November beer. It's like an autumn beer. And it was so good, but it was really high in alcohol. And I hadn't eaten all day. You know how it goes. I was wasted really quickly. And I got an Uber home, but I got to my apartment and I couldn't find my key. Now, I don't remember any of this.
Oh, no.
And I guess I just fell asleep outside my door. And this is when I was living down in Jersey City on Wayne Street in a basement apartment. So I was just kind of like in one of those little, I don't even know what you'd call it, but underneath like the main staircase. And I just passed out and I was puking all over myself, just puking. My dogs were probably going crazy. I guess my landlords didn't hear me. I don't know, but some good Samaritan called an ambulance and I was taken to the hospital.
Do you remember getting in the ambulance? Nothing?
No, I don't remember any of this, which is crazy because you think when something like that big happens, you kind of sober up for a second. Nope. I just woke up and I was so confused and disoriented, and I was just sitting there with an IV in my arm.
Did you feel amazing after that though?
No, I felt
really
awful.
I always think
no,
like
I didn't.
If you get the IV, you feel so much
drunk.
better. Ugh.
And so I woke up. The nurses were so mean to me because apparently they do not like drunk people there, which I totally understand. I was also, because I had puked all over my clothes, I was in scrubs and they just
Were you mean to them? Maybe that's why they were mean to you.
No. I mean, the night before?
Yeah, like we don't know,
you know? There's a very good chance I was. So I don't know. But that was awful. I didn't get sober after that, believe it or not, but I
was going to say, no, I don't think you did. No.
It was crazy. And the worst part is the nurses, they released me, but they didn't take the actual, I still had the needle in my arm, which is crazy.
Gross.
Yeah, it was bad. It was really bad. That was like one rock bottom.
Yeah, I remember vaguely when that happened, but
yeah.
I'm sorry, dude.
Sorry, B.
All right. Kay writes, my story begins with a country music festival in the Midwest called Country Thunder. Every year, lots of people gather in a field in Wisconsin for a music festival. We are one of the drunkest states in the country, true, and we have 12 out of 20 of the drunkest cities in the country, so this festival is a real shit show to begin with. I feel like I can attest to this. I think I've heard of this festival. as a side
What is
note.
it called?
Country Thunder.
Oh, where is this?
In Wisconsin.
Oh, I've
Wisconsin
never heard of
parties real hard. Okay.
I did
I'm
not know that.
5'2" on a good day and was a total lightweight that couldn't keep up with people who could drink lots of alcohol for long hours in the beating sun. All of these circumstances mixed together on this particular day was so incredibly embarrassing that could happen for me. Woohoo. I had been drinking with my friends all day with plenty of drama, including throwing my full unopened beer can at my friend, calling her a homophobe. And this was late at night when the sun had gone down and we had been shotgunning beers and doing shots and dancing in the backs of trucks and doing exactly the type of hick things you'd expect at a Wisconsin music festival. Cute. I had a really cute outfit on with a cowboy hat and short overall bibs. Let me preface this part of the story by saying there are various tiers of campsites you can get at this festival, and my friends and I paid for the smallest tier, so we did not have access to a porta potty at our campsite. And throughout the day, we were bartering with people and making it a joke to see which campsites we could try to persuade people to let us use their porta potty at. I peed behind a lot of tents that day. So flash to me standing in a circle with my twin sister, best friend, and this random guy we just met, probably while dancing in the back of a truck. And I have to pee so bad, and I think my drunk ass didn't really feel like going through the whole trouble of finding a tent to pee behind or another locked porta potty, etc. So I think to myself, if I just pee really quietly while continuing to stand in the circle, no one will notice. So I start to pee, but once I started, I couldn't control the flow. So it started to get louder and louder and more noticeable until the stranger guy goes, "Is she pissing?" And they all backed off, and I continued to just piss right through my bibs without a care in the world.
Oh, honey.
So I'm glad I don't have to wake up and have flashbacks of the stupid and embarrassing shit I did while I was a hot mess. I have so many stories like this that are similar from my dumbass drunk self. Thank you for the podcast and creating this space. Dude, jumpers are like a liability. Rompers, jumpers, overalls are just not for people with drinking problems.
Mm-mm.
I don't think I ever, there was a 4th of July where I bought like 2 cute rompers and then you can't wear them. I had to just stop buying them because I was like, I'm either going to come out with like half my tit out because I didn't put myself together back right, or I'm going to pee my pants, or likely both. Yeah.
I'd never understand when girls wear those cute bodysuits because there's no way I just can't do it. I guess you could just pull it to the side or whatever. But yeah, that was the worst when you'd go out for like a Saturday night and you're like, fuck, I wore the wrong outfit for drinking all night. Mm-hmm. One time I had just left a bar, was wasted, fell on the sidewalk right outside the bar. The bartender was outside smoking and she wasn't the one who was serving me. She was like the one coming on, but she knew me from being there all the time. And I was wearing these like green, like khaki green kind of thin pants. This is a long ass time ago. I wouldn't be caught dead in this now, but I was lying on the sidewalk on like Rivington or Ludlow or whatever. And I was like, I have to pee. And they're like, all right, well, like, let's get you back inside to pee. I'm like, nah. And I just start pissing myself.
Like
and
with your pants on, right?
100%. Yeah. And so they went from green to black because it was like that thin, like, needless to say, couldn't catch a cab.
Of course.
The people I was with found a baby stroller somewhere on the way and put me in the baby stroller and it was crazy. It was really crazy. And then apparently like some guy pulled over and was like, because I was screaming, I guess they were picking me up and carrying me at one point. He's like, put that girl down. And they're like, it's fine. But it was crazy.
I remember one time I went to a company holiday party. This was at the point where I was already basically only wearing black pants because every time I would get drunk, like I'd pee a little. You know what I mean? Where you like couldn't hold it all the way. So it wasn't like I was full on pissing my pants, but it was like shit would get a little, shit would get close. And I distinctly remember having to leave like this holiday party. Still to this day, can't really remember what company I was working for, but I just remember getting in the elevator and having like a longer coat on and just peeing and like letting it happen because I was just like, there's that point where you can't stop it and you just know that it's going to happen. So there's that wash of like shame, but you're just like, I just have to do this. Like, it's just happening now. And you just you think you're so quiet. When you're drinking, you're like, I must be being silent. And then proceeded to like I was in the elevator, peed all the way down, and then just like left the building and like was like, Holy fuck, I'm a terrible person.
One time I locked myself out, and I say I locked myself out because it turns out I had my keys on me the whole time. I didn't know that. And it was like 5 a.m. because it was the sun was out. So it was like 5 or 6 a.m. sitting on my stoop, pissed myself. So there's pee all over me, all over the concrete. I call my landlord to let me in, and he like lets me in. I'm sitting there covered in my own piss, peed all over the fucking stoop. I don't know why I didn't pee, like, I don't know, on the grass in the yard or like literally anywhere but the front stoop. And he just was like, I woke this guy up. It was just bad. But anyway, you ready for another one?
Are you going to read S?
No, yes.
Okay.
All right. One of the biggest regrets that I had in my life is from about 7 years ago, a few months after I turned 21. I was drunk as fuck one night and Snapchatting my ex's little brother. Let's call my ex Jay. I was snapping Jay's brother. This is already bad. Me, Jay, and the brother still kept in contact occasionally. I was finally realizing around that time how abusive my relationship with Jay was and how I hated him. It was toxic, etc. I knew I would love him forever and could never let him go. And I knew he wouldn't be able to either. I realized in my drunken state that this cycle of 5 years worth of abuse wouldn't stop unless I did something to make him hate me.
Whoa.
No, I had the bright fucking idea to hook up with Jay's brother to make him hate me. And then she wrote like, what the fuck, right?
I mean, like, I don't hate this idea yet.
I mean, get it, I guess. For a while, it worked. Jay hated me, and I sort of moved on. I drunkenly would call him years after, and the cycle continued. The only time we would speak was when I was drunk and would call Jay to express my regrets. I regretted it immediately and realized that what I did does not align with my beliefs or morals, etc. And sober me was mortified. I hated myself for doing something so cruel to someone. Fast forward to this year of 2020. I started my journey of healing in February, put the hardcore drinking to rest in April, and haven't had a drop in 10 days of writing this email. I've finally been able to process my life, my past decisions I have made, and the trauma I have been through with my ex and outside of him. In general, my life was always a hot mess, but I won't get into all of that.
Aww.
Yikes. No comment. That sucks.
I don't know if I would like revenge fuck someone's brother, but I don't like hate the strategy because it sounds like that was a really bad relationship.
Well, like she was just trying to, she was on a mission.
Well, I mean,
she
like
was
if
on
you're
a mission to be hurtful.
Well, she's on a mission for two things, right? To like get back at him, quote unquote, but like also probably like divert, I don't know, probably to divert, feel some sort of control of the situation.
Oh yeah, 100%.
I don't know. That one's
come in all
hard.
shapes and sizes, guys.
What?
I said hot mess stories come in all different shapes and sizes. They don't all have to involve puking or pissing yourself.
But here's the thing, though. She slept with her ex's brother. It wasn't like her boyfriend's brother. Like, yeah, that's bad, but at least they weren't like together. You know what I mean? Anyway.
Yeah.
I digress.
Well, we've got two more. You think we could do it?
Yeah. Let's do, yeah. Okay. I will read
K and J.
Mm-hmm.
I'll read J.
All right. Kay writes, one of my hot mess stories is from when I lived in Key West. Every Wednesday night, one of the local bars would host and judge a mechanical bull riding competition. I had entered before and won second prize with a $400 cash prize, so you can imagine how popular this weekly event is. One night, after eating a nice dinner with a girlfriend, we decided to have shots afterwards at a nearby bar. Realizing that it was the infamous bull riding night, we bar hopped on the way to the competition. Not only did I black out before we got there, but I caused quite the scene that the judges probably have never witnessed. My girlfriend told me that I had wanted to enter the contest so I could win the money. I guess seeing the long line of 20 plus girls waiting to sign their waiver forms, take off their shoes, and being assisted onto the platform was something I wasn't willing to wait for. Instead, I ran full speed, skipped the line, pushed past the waiver bouncer, and projected myself onto the platform with my 5-inch heels on. With the waiver bouncer yelling at me to get down, I refused and continued to the bull. I sat there on the bull waiting to start while about 10 employees were demanding that I get down. They, of course, never started the bull, but I apparently then thought this new comfy straddle position was an ideal place to take a nap. My girlfriend said that I got banned that night, and when they finally got me down, and I had proceeded to the bar where I yelled at the bartender for not giving me my $500 prize that I won. I was quite the hot mess at that rodeo.
Oh, honey.
I love that one. Well, that she just stayed on.
Fuck. I've never done bull riding. Have you?
I don't think I have either, no.
I have been tempted when drunk, but I have not done it. And now that I don't drink, I will never do it.
I've been at a place where people were doing it while I was drinking, but I never had the courage to do it. I have
Same.
terrible equilibrium imbalance when I'm drunk, so I just feel like even drunk me knows that that's like out of my league.
Yeah, that's fair. All right. Last one for the day.
Mm-hmm.
In early 2018, another ex one. My ex and I were just starting to pick up the pieces and work towards getting back together. He was, and still is, the love of my life, but my drinking was a huge issue. I put him in several uncomfortable situations and he didn't trust me for good reason. On St. Patrick's Day, we had separate plans. I was going to a house party with a band and he was going to a bar with his buddies. And we planned to meet downtown at 11, bar hop, and then go back to his place because it was within walking distance of the bar. My plan was to only drink light beer so I wouldn't black out or do anything embarrassing. Gotta love moderation. Okay. The last thing I remember was walking downtown to the bar to meet him. I couldn't tell you what bars we went to. I have no recollection of the rest of the night. The next morning I woke up in his bed, wet, not in a good way. I woke him up and was like, did you spill something on me?
Oh, God.
Yeah, I know this. He proceeded to tell me that when we got back to his house, I squatted on his bed and peed on it fully clothed. I didn't even bother to unbutton my pants. He stopped me when he realized what was happening and walked me over to the bathroom so I could pee in the toilet. Did I pee in the toilet? Of course not. I then pulled down my pants, did a wall squat, and started urinating down the wall and on the floor. Kill me. Before this night, I had never peed the bed. I have peed in questionable places, but never the bed. He never went to bars with me again, and our relationship was over soon after this. I'm still mortified that he saw me like that. I'm happy to report that I just celebrated my 1 year sober birthday. Oh my God, girl. Love that.
It makes me feel comforted to see how many people also pee like us. I thought it was just us.
I just put my old mattress out on the curb and I also threw out the the like little the memory foam thing above it so that it would hide all the urine.
Oh yeah.
So I was gonna take a photo for you guys and it's just too shameful. Shameful.
Yeah. Too soon still.
We love these. Please keep sending them to us because it just reminds everyone
mess story.
Again, I already said it earlier, but send it to seltzersquadpod@gmail.com and subject line hot mess. We never tell you guys this, but don't forget to like and subscribe to our podcast because that's how other people find us. And we try not to be pushy. It probably says it in the outro, but I am going to remind you guys that if you guys could rate us, review us, that would be great. I think that a lot of people are trying to get sober now and maybe this podcast can help them and we need more friends. So until we meet again,
be nice to yourself.
And don't forget,
hangovers
suck.
Thanks for listening. Don't forget to rate, review, and subscribe to this podcast. Every review helps other listeners find us. Music by Dead Go West. Art by Kate Sander. For show notes and resources, check out seltzersquad.com.